Hello, everyone. Welcome to Save News TV. I want to thank everybody for allowing us into your homes tonight. And we have to make sure that we're on because let me tell you, babes, this week has been attack week. Last night, I did a video. Well, let me back up. Callie and I did what's going on in Israel. And so since they couldn't stop the video any other way because there was nothing that they could do as far as hate. We had a false copyright strike from some feminist group in Bangladesh, and they and they decided that they were going to put a thing on the video. This was on Facebook to send people now to the Bangladesh feminist group, which the video was about the Amorites. Had absolutely not the Amorites, the Jebusites had absolutely nothing to do with Bangladesh feminist group. So now, hopefully, they'll take that off of. I appealed it. Hopefully, they'll take it off of the video on Facebook. I mean, they did it on our large Facebook page, and not even though I streamed it on all of the other platforms, other Facebook page, Save News TV and Save News. No, I didn't stream it on Save News radio page, but the smaller page, they did nothing about it. Okay, so I'm dealing with that now. Today, well, last night I did this video regarding C and what the new information is about it. Well, YouTube got mad and YouTube struck my channel, took down the video, struck my channel, and now I can't post on YouTube for another week, a whole week. We do have a backup channel on YouTube. This video, hopefully they allow me to put this up here. It's just Save News, youtube.com/Save News. All of our main videos are on youtube.com/Save News TV. And that's why I always, say for you all to watch us on Roku and Amazon Fire TV, because one thing about it is that they cannot take down our videos over there. So it has been, that's just one of many strange things that's happened, but it's really not strange because the fact of it is that when you're bringing truth and people don't want the truth to come out, they don't want you to bring forth truth in any manner whatsoever, regardless of what it is. So it will Save News. We do all kinds of things over here. We do, of course, our Christian. And I forgot, Wednesday night it was attack on the exposing the devil video. So Save News, we are doing what is right. We know we are, because if we were not, we would not have the issues on all these platforms, and they would not be taking down videos, striking channels. They would not be doing false copyright claims on things that we weren't even talking about them for data that they do not even own. I don't know who the Bangladesh feminist group is, movement or whatever, but anyway, they sent a false copyright strike on that. But tonight we are going in on Kamala Harris and what's going on. And I wanted to talk to the Black community because first and foremost, this is not about hate. This is not about the white community. This is not about any other community. It's about holding our leaders accountable, the so-called leaders of the Black group. And when they go on certain shows, the anchors are not holding them accountable. They're allowing them to come up there and do a campaign, basically, rather than dealing with the issues. And I'm not 25, I'm a little bit older, but they are really hurting, these quote unquote Black leaders are really hurting the younger generation and the generation as a whole. So, like I stated, this is not about any other ethnic group. This is not about hate. You know, we welcome all of the ethnic groups to watch because that's what our channel is about. But this particular video, I want you to watch and maybe be enlightened and understand some things, what's going on. But as far as we're concerned today, we're going to call Miss Kamala Harris out because sure, we don't know you. We do not know you. You know, you may be brown. It's like having someone in your camp that, you know, look like you. Even in Christendom, they be acting like they're Christian, but you know, they're not. We don't know you, and you are not speaking for us. Do not tell us or try to define us and tell us what's important for the Black community, Miss Kamala Harris, because we don't know you. So anyway, and you know, she spent more time fighting for Joe Biden, Massa plantation Joe Biden, Negro Biden. And if you're wondering why I call him Negro Joe Biden, is because he referred to one of our people as Negro, as a Negro here recently. So, like I stated, that is why he is being called Negro Joe Biden. I'm going to put the video. This video is still up on our YouTube channel. If you want to check out the Negro Joe Biden comment. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to really examine this Charlamagne video. And again, I'm not going to talk about his name because we as children of God already know. So we'll do that maybe another day. But today we're going to go in on this particular video with Charlamagne, and we're going to watch it. He did a video with her yesterday, and you know, she spent so much time on other things, and you know, mainly defending Joe Biden. So anyway, let's see. I think it started at 20. I did not save that part because he asked her a question. And let me share my screen. And we're going to get into this. We are going to get into this. Yes. Let's share this screen so you can see what I'm seeing. And we're going to talk about this because and I know a lot of media channels, they are tired of her too. Not just her, they're tired of these quote unquote Black leaders speaking on things that have absolutely nothing. Well, it has something to do with us, but that's not our concern. Our main concern is what you need to be doing is getting the reparations. If you want to claim that you are a Black person standing for us. Okay, so let's see if we can get to that point. Let's get to that point. First, I'm going to share the article because this is insane. It is totally insane. She went on Charlamagne's channel, which you know is amazing. You know, their main focus is dealing with hip hop, but then they spend all of their time when they want to speak to the Black people, the Black community, to try to hoodwink you. Then they go on certain channels to tell you what to think. So now what they're doing is, since they don't have Trump to blame, now it's Joe Manchin. I'm sorry, Joe Manchin. It's all Joe Manchin's fault. It's nobody but Joe Manchin. It's his fault. So let's just read this article and get definitely into it because there's a lot to this other than what is just looked at on the surface. Talking about he got into a heated after Charlamagne asked if Joe Biden or Joe Manchin was the real president. Now, see, this is the problem I see with the Democratic Party. Number one, they feel that everybody should be line and step with what they say, irrespective of what constituents think or whatever. You're not supposed to have a mind of your own. You're only supposed to think and do as they do. She sat there and she argued and criticized the Republican Party for standing together as one. But most of the time, Republicans are like, can't hold water because they flip flat back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's the Democrats that always vote for the same thing. I don't care what it is. I don't care whether their constituents like it or not. They're going to vote together. And for her to say, because one person decides they're going to, have a mind of their own, then now she's doing a PR tour to demonize this man because he dares to have a mind of his own and to think for himself and think for what his constituents want. So let's get into this. Charlamagne asked VP Harris Friday, who's the real president? Harris quickly defended Joe Biden and said, don't start talking like a Republican. See, it's always the smoke screen, smoke screen. We're not going to take any responsibility. Who can we point the finger at? Whether it's Republican, whether it's Joe Manchin, whether it's the moon, the sky, whatever. It's never their fault. They're never going to take any responsibility. It's always, let me point the finger at someone else. Joe Manchin frustrated some Democrats again this week by holding up the Build Back Better Act. Okay, Black folk, this Build Back Better Act has nothing to do as far as being beneficial in great detail for us exclusively. If she wants to speak to the Black community, what she needs to do is to get on the reparation train, okay? Because she's not there. She and none of the rest of them are there. They're doing nothing. They're doing all this smoke screen and expect you to be loyal and continue to vote for them like you're stupid. This is a new day. This is not 1960 where, people can't vote. If you can get a V card where you can't even go eat in some places, but dare you have to have an ID to have to vote. Okay. I don't know of any Black person, not one, from the richest to the poorest that I know, that cannot get a voting card, ID card. I don't know of any Black person that is a concern to them. I don't even know any Black person that is against voter ID cards, but they want you to believe that this is a major issue for us. Trust and believe. Voter ID is not a major issue for us. As a matter of fact, it is downright insulting that they stand up and say, well, it keeps Black people from voting. Like, we don't have enough common sense to go down to DMV or wherever to get a voting card or to elections office. You have to have ID to cash a check. Most people over the age of 18 have held a job somewhere in their life. So they do have an ID. You have to have ID to, for those that drink or, use alcohol. You cannot purchase alcohol, I guess, without that ID. You have to have an ID when you apply for a job to fill out your I-9. In order for you to be paid, you have to have some form of identification. Be it a birth certificate. If you have a birth certificate, you have to have 2 forms of ID. Stop playing with us, Kamala, and the rest of you, quote unquote, Black leaders that's doing absolutely nothing but throwing up smoke screens. We understand voter ID. We are not concerned about voter ID. What we are concerned about is what is rightfully ours, and that's reparations. But let's move on from here. Okay. The tense exchange happened while Harris was being interviewed for Comedy Central's The God's Honest Truth. Now, let me start right here. This is what I'm talking about. Instead of going to even, I know she goes to major platforms to talk, and they do, but instead of going to real hard-hitting Black media outlets that's going to ask real questions and not just give you a pass, she goes to Comedy Central. Really? Do you think all Black folk watch Charlamagne and Comedy Central? Had this not hit mainstream news as far as the news wire, I would have never known it, because I don't watch Comedy Central. A lot of Black people don't watch Comedy Central. They don't watch Charlamagne. Okay? And if you really wanted to have an intellectual conversation rather than just doing PR and talk about what you've done, which is nothing that impacts us, but you want us to vote for you, you want us to get out there and huck a buck and vote for you, but you go to Comedy Central. I can list off at least 10 Black platforms that, just right off the top of my head right now, boom, 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 that would give a real interview and ask real questions. And I'm not talking about the smoke screen Roland Martin. I'm not talking about the smoke screen Charlamagne, not talking about Joy Reid, MSN, because they're all on your payroll. And they're going to ask you the easy questions, and they're going to not address the real issues. If they hit issues, if you skirt it, they're going to let you slide. No, I'm talking about the platforms that's going to bring you your feet to the fire. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go on. So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? Charlamagne asked the vice president. Come on, Charlamagne, Harris responded, followed by Charlamagne chiming in to say, I can't tell sometimes. And she goes on, no, it's Joe Biden, Harris said. And don't start talking like a Republican asking about whether or not he's president. Girl, bye. We don't know you. Here you go again, defending, standing in front of, taking the bullet for Joe Biden. Mr. Racist Joe Biden. Taking that bullet, jumping in front. Take that energy and have it for the Black folk that you want to vote. Because you don't know us until you want something. And now we don't know you. And you wonder why you could only garner 3% of the vote when you were running for president. That's because we don't know you. We don't know who you are. We don't know you. You are not us. We don't know you. Understand, trust, and believe. So it goes on to say, it's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris, she continued, before listing some of the Biden administration's accomplishments, like the child tax credit and plans to replace every lead water pipe in the country. Okay, we want to take step by step. Child tax credit. All right. That impacts everybody. You're not doing anything for us. You're on this Black platform, trying to speak to Black folk. child tax credit. Only black folk aren't the only people that have children. Okay, everybody have a child. I mean, every race have a child, have children. So it's not like you're doing me no big favor. Us no big favor with the child tax credit. I don't have any children, but the way the inflation is rising, I would imagine that the child tax credit is not enough to help nobody out. But okay. Now, then it goes to plans to replace every lead water pipe in the country. Girl, come on, girl. You are talking about every lead pipe in the country because it impacts children. Yes, it does. But let's look at the cities that the lead pipes are in. Who are they ran by? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Say it again. Do I need to drink some? I drink coffee. So I need to drink some coffee? Who are those cities ran by? Yeah, Democrats. Okay. So what you're saying is you're trying to repair the lead pipes in the cities that Democrats run. Girl, please stop it. Stop it. You are not speaking to us. We speak a totally different language. Totally different language. The article goes on to say, I hear the frustration, but let's not deny the impact that we've had and agree also that there is a whole lot of more work that needs to be done. Yeah, I agree. You've had an impact, but it's negative. What is the approval rating? Excuse me? 36, 35 for Joe? And even, you just a few points over that. We can just think it hasn't been a year. And we can go through number after number of broken promises, of lies that you all told on the campaign trail, and of what, you all are doing that you said that you were going to do that you didn't do. We can talk about the fact that you all were supposed to do the student loan thing, but you didn't do it. If you go over to Save News TV on YouTube or Facebook page, you'll be able to see that. I did a video on that. You talk about now, you all are but you didn't talk about, this is why I'm saying there's no accountability. He's not talking about, he didn't ask the question about the federal government approving HR 550 to get the vaccine records for everyone in the country. Didn't talk about that. Why did you talk about that? I'm asking for a friend. Why didn't you talk about the infringement of your medical rights and the vaccine records? No, we need some reparations here, sweetie, because you're not talking to us. You're not talking to us. You're not talking to us. We don't know you. So now that you are out here flexing for Joe Biden, just the other day, which I did a video on, just the other day, Joe Biden just totally ignored you at the Capitol, totally embarrassed you, walked right past you and your husband, and then did not speak to you, then asked Jill to change sides with you so he wouldn't have to sit beside you. But here you are today, just like a good field hand, working overtime to defend this man to us. And we already know. It is time for Black folk to wake up. I'm just telling you. It is time for Black folk to wake up. So anyway, she goes on to say, Manchin, a Democratic senator from West Virginia, has frequently clashed this year with other members of his party, at times stalling Biden's domestic agenda. He has faced criticism for holding up bills that mostly of the party is on agreement on. No, it's not mostly. The Democrats always vote together as a block. If you go to any bill that has passed, they have consistently voted. All the yays, if it's their stuff, is yay. They never get out of step. And that's what bothers me. There are times where you have to cross the aisle. And sometimes you have to stand up for what your constituents want. There is no way on God's green earth you're going to let me believe that every American Democrat believes the exact same thing on every issue. Yet and still, they vote exactly the same way. No, that is not right. That's not so. Also, continue with the article. Earlier this week, the moderate Democrat held up Biden's $2 trillion social and climate spending bill over concerns about the cost of the child tax credit. Okay, you got to pay for stuff. You got to pay for it. You can't just have giveaway. I wish it was so. If that was the case, I would have a lot of stuff. You would have a lot of stuff. If you didn't have to pay for it, just go and get it and don't have to pay for it. No, it doesn't work. World doesn't work like that. So there has to be fiscal accountability, and it's a shame that you only have one Democrat that is standing up and saying, "Hold up." There's got to be some fiscal accountability instead of you doing a PR tour to demean this man. And instead of you doing a PR tour to the Black community to try to get him out of office, because that's what it is. That's what it is. You're trying to appeal to the Black community to vote him out of office in his district. That's exactly what it is. And to get votes, to drum up votes for the midterm elections, which is not going to happen because people are staying home. We are so done with you all. It is time for some balance. That 50-50 split is not good enough. We need some more room. We need some room to breathe, so you have to work and actually get something done. And I promise you, Kamala, that if the reparations isn't done by the time midterm in November 2022, if you all thought that you all lost bad in November 2021, you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. So let's continue on. Biden said Thursday he was working closely with Manchin to come to an agreement to get the Build Back Better Act passed, which would require the support of every Democratic senator. Oh God, Manchin. I mean, I applaud you, man. I applaud you because you have not fallen for the okey doke. See, now you haven't fallen for the okey doke of always falling in step to what they want. Okay, now let's continue on with this. We're glad that the man got his own mind and that he can speak for himself and hopefully vote for himself. To put this type of energy, and that's what they do. They cannibalize their own. To put this type of energy to go against one of your own because he doesn't agree with you, and it's insane. It really is. But anyway, let's get back to the article. Representative Alexandria Cortez said Friday the party should force Manchin's hand by bringing the bill to a vote, a position shared by Richard Durbin earlier this week. See, here we go about force. Force his hand then. Force his hand. See what he does. Go ahead. Now, when he doesn't vote with you, then what are you going to do? Build back better. Girl, I'm going to tell you, Kamala, and the rest of you Democrats and all of you black leaders that's sitting up there, what you need to be doing is getting the reparations. Really. You need to work on it. Not just work on it. You need to get it done. You all vote together as a block. But we know that you're not for it. Even though you want our vote, you want something from us. The day of getting something for free is gone. It's gone. It is over. There are too many small, medium, and large black platforms that are out here speaking against this, speaking against this particular thing as far as giving away a vote. And we are all talking about reparations. It is what it is. You all even went as far as to you wanted to give $450,000 per person to illegal people that was children that was per person that was separated from their family, and up to $1 million per family. So you can find the time, you could have found the time, the money, and the effort to give this type of money to people that are illegal. But see, let me tell you what happened, y'all. Joe Biden came out. He was strong. First, he came out. He was strong. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. Then he backpedaled. He came back out and he said, it was a travesty what Trump did to those people at the border. Who cares? We're going to pay them $450,000 per person or $1 million per family. We don't even care that they knew it was illegal to cross the border. We don't even care that, that the parents took their children here. It's not, they don't care that we didn't go to wherever they came from at the border and took them from their homeland and brought them across the border. We didn't do that. We don't care about that. We're just mad that it was, Trump that did it, and we're going to pay these people. We're going to give them reparations, and we're going to give reparations to illegal people that cross the border. But then let me tell you what happened. What happened was the November elections. Okay. And then the beatdown happened. They got beat down so bad that they had to find a reason to, why is this happening? Why is this happening? It was not just me, but there were several other black platforms saying, wait a minute, hold up. You can reparate illegal $450,000 per person, per child, or up to $1 million per family because they crossed the border illegally and was separated from their parents for maybe, I think, a day, maybe a week. Excuse me. Say that again. Well, one thing about it, when someone in America commits an illegal crime, right, they go to jail, and they have their trial, they're convicted, they go to jail. And when they're in jail, they're separated from their children. Why? Because they're in prison, and it's they committed an illegal act, and they do not get the benefit of having their family, their children, their loved ones be with them. But Joe Biden said, we don't care that it was illegal what they did. What we're going to do is now we're going to reparate them. We're going to reparate them for committing illegal acts. But, for you black folk, what we're going to do is we're going to study, we're going to think about and study about reparations for Black folk. Even though it has already been written, they've already studied, they've already done the legwork to reparate Black folk, but quickly, with a swiftness, within months, they can reparate to $450,000 per person or $1 million for a family for coming into the country illegally and your child being separated from you because you committed an illegal act. Okay? Now you tell me how that makes sense. Well, anyway, like I was saying, let me get me a sip of coffee. Like I was saying, after the beatdown in the November elections, Joe Biden had an epiphany. So now, coming out just today, the DOJ scraps the $450 payment to illegal. Wow. The U.S. government has ended negotiations over a settlement of the cases seeking monetary compensation, according to the ACLU. Lead attorney Lee Gelernt told CBS News that the Biden administration decision not to pay affected families was a result of having allowed policies to get in the way of helping the little children desperately abused by our government. Stop. Approximately 5,400 children were separated. So if we look at 5,400, 4 times $450,000 or $1 million per family. So let's just say over $500 million, $540 million would have been paid to illegal aliens for crossing the border and being separated from their children. But let's, how many people are in prison? They're separated from their family because they committed an illegal act. Okay? What about those that's in prison? We allowed politics. It's not politics, it's common sense. If you commit an illegal act, if you're separated from your family, children, whatever, it is a consequence of doing something illegal. Okay? Do we have to break that down all the time? I'm just saying, I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. But there's so many things that we need as a Black community that, like I said, Kamala Harris isn't addressing. Joe Biden definitely not going to address because we already know he's a racist. And these quote unquote Black leaders are not addressing. We're going to need to hold some feet to the fire. Again, do not be persuaded. Do not be dismayed. They will come at you with any kind of crazy, telling you what you need to be thinking about, how you should be voting, what's important to you. Again, Kamala, listen, I'm going to look in the camera. Kamala, go get the reparations for Black folk. Stop wasting our time. We're not buying what you're selling. We don't care if you go on Charlamagne. We don't care if you go on Roland Martin. We don't care. What we want is reparations. Now, if you get us our reparations, then maybe we can think about voting for you all again. But until which time, the answer is no. We are not the mindset of the people from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We understand that our vote counts. We understand that we want something for our vote. We do not want Build Back Better. We don't care. We don't care about lead pipes because we do care, but this is for everybody. We want what is rightfully ours. Now, the reason why we know that you don't want to do this is because as soon as we Black folk, because we're creative, because we're ingenious, and because we built this country, when we get our reparations, we are going to make it a new day. Now, if you want to be a part of that new day, you get us our reparations. But the thing of it is that power is shifting. It's shifting, and you can't stop it. So you can either be a part of solving the problem, or you can remain the problem. You can go talk to Charlamagne. You can go talk to Roland, all you want to. But we're out here talking to our people and letting them know that the old school vote straight Democratic Party is over. Now, we're not claiming that the Republicans are the light of day, because we know they have their issues too. But what we also know is this: if we create enough balance or tilt that scale enough, because you all love power, know that in order to maintain, to get it back, you're going to have to do what we ask. And this is what we're asking. We're asking nicely, because it's ours. And you know it. But anyway, everybody, I've talked enough. I try not to do too long of a video. I just wanted to address Miss Kamala Harris and, her field hand demeanor out here jumping in front of the problem, trying to jump in front of the problem, taking the bullets for Massa Negro Joe Biden. The racist person, one of the racist persons I know, and have had a history for years since, he's always been racist. But what we're doing is we're shaking our Black people. We're shaking them and letting them know that Joe is racist. We don't know you. We don't care what you think as far as what's important to us, because we know what's important to us. We're not stupid like you think you are, and that those old tricks that you used to do back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that worked is working. No longer. The gig is up. So anyway, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And as I stated, go over to Roku, Save News TV on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. You will always be able to get our information over there, all of our stuff, because we have a lot of stuff. And if it's taken down on one platform, who cares? Because we have it up here, over there all the time. And make sure you listen to Save News Radio. We have a lot of great things. And as I stated, this is not a hate video. This is an enlightenment video for Black people and for those that try to run interference as far as these quote unquote Black leaders and VP Harris. Again, please like, subscribe, share this video with those that you know, and enlighten someone to what we are asking for and what we need. We want our reparations. The end.